takes time to walk it all.
I'm gonna send you the link right now.
If I skip
Sounds
time,
good.
would they even care at all?
Hey, this shit hot, dude.
I got plenty steam that I'm
Thank you.
blowing off. Mix the Louis V with the Saint Laurent. Just to show them all I don't care at all, at all. I'm in Sin City. All my demons hella bad and they sit pretty. All the secrets that I keep, yeah, they sit with me. Hear the whispers in my sleep, what they want from me. Oh, the secrets that I lock on my soul, they can get it all. I gotta watch my back, they just want it all. Take a trip inside my mind, see what we find inside the unknown.
Is that your Instagram?
I lost my patience, now it's long gone. I made mistakes,
Fantastic.
sometimes gotta move
All right,
on.
pulling
They
that
said
up.
this life is a journey, better hold on. While you're on top, way before the drop off.
Welcome everybody to yet another stream. I cannot express how excited I am to have you guys here for stream number 15. Let me turn my mic up a little bit so you guys can hear me. Sorry. Thank you guys so much. Okay, we're at stream number 15. Stream number fucking 15. We started this with no one interested. I had 2 people interested. We are up to stream number 15, almost 100 followers, 32 followers, or 32 subscribers, I'm sorry, for YouTube. 98, 2 away from our goal for 100 for March, and we're only in April still. So keep pushing that, you guys. I want to say thank you to this amazing artist we have featuring with us today. Everybody say hello to Jortzy, and thank you so much for being here, man. Welcome to the stream.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's such a privilege to be able to work with artists such as yourself. And you were referred to me by Janalius. So what's kind of you guys' relationship, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, for sure. So I knew Jonalius back in high school, and funny enough, all those years ago when I started making music, I didn't really know how to start. All I knew is that I really wanted to put my ideas out there. I really wanted to be able to express myself in a way I wasn't able to do before. And so the first time I ever hopped on a mic was actually at his place. And it was funny because we were at his place and he was pulling up beats and I was rapping on them and stuff like that. And then he pulled up another person from high school's beats. His name's Jeffrey. Shout out Jeffrey. He's my engineer. He's produced a lot of my songs. And he pulled up Jeff's beats and I was like, damn, this shit's cold. So I reached out to him and I found out he was an engineer, and that's how we got started. And that's how I was able to put my first song out.
Hell yeah. And tell me about your first song, man. I'm super interested.
Sure. So yeah, my first song is called Ride, parentheses, I Can't Confide. And the reason I kind of put that song out there was because from the get-go, I've always wanted to speak about mental health and what was going on inside of my head, because that's something I've always struggled with, depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. And so I wanted to be able to use the music as a way to express how I was feeling and just express any emotions. If you look through my catalog, a lot of different songs have, different feelings, different messages, all that kind of stuff. And so Ride was kind of me just telling the world, just be careful, who you put your trust into. And it was funny because I didn't actually even promote that song when it first came out. I just put it out, and I, being super optimistic and being fresh on the scene, I was just hoping it would pop off, which it didn't. But
hey, one step at a time, man. Don't any progress is still progress. So don't ever down yourself for stuff like that.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. No, I mean, I'm glad it didn't, because my music has progressed so much since then. So I'm happy that I've been able to learn, like, through my time of making music.
All right. And so what have you learned to this point in your career that you didn't know necessarily when you first started?
Man, I've learned a lot. Um, well, I mean, on the positive side, like, if we're talking about strictly music, like I was able to learn different sort of techniques of how to record and stuff like that, how to make your voice sound better. Um, I learned a lot about that kind of stuff. I learned a lot about like punching in, instead of necessarily just doing like one take. Because I used to be one taking all my songs. A lot of people don't know this, but how I got started was through freestyling. Like that's how I got into making music and stuff like that. Was through freestyling with my one friend. He knows who he is. So yeah, we started freestyling in the car during like the pandemic and stuff like that, and I got kind of good at it. And so I was my first couple of songs, not Ride, but first like I don't know, first like couple 2 to 3 songs, I was just freestyling. And one of them actually we put out a music video for and all that kind of stuff. It was, it's been a wild ride. So yeah, definitely down the line I learned how to punch in, and then I started writing more when I wanted to be able to express myself. And then the more I began writing, I was able to like express my ideas in a better way than how a freestyle would just come out. But I still freestyle sometimes in the booth.
Yeah, of course, of course. I mean, even though that I'm a writer, freestyling's always been kind of just fun to me, you know? Like it's a way to kind of relax before you get serious.
Yeah, 100%. I 100% agree. And now not only will I like freestyle some songs, if I'm really just feeling in a creative zone and I feel like it's just kind of flowing, I'll freestyle it. But if not, then I'll always freestyle melodies. That's something I learned recently too, like being able to freestyle melodies before you lay down actual lyrics and stuff like that. That's definitely been huge as well.
Yeah, for sure. When I write, I always do my hooks first. But what I've found is that the beat will tell you what to do. If you
No,
if Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I'm sorry.
no, you finished. I was just saying, 1,000%, the beat will tell you what to do.
Yeah, and especially if like, so for people who know me, I was in band in high school, and that sounds kind of nerdy, but in reality, it taught me how to count music. It taught me how to listen to pitches. It taught
Hmm.
me how to time myself with a greater collective of sounds and not just necessarily a voice to a beat, but just any musical situation in general. And people underestimate the technical aspect of creating not just a song but something that will resonate and that will touch, more people than just the couple of friends or the few followers you have, that will really push into the greater collective of art consumers.
Hmm.
Now, with that being said, what have you found that is your biggest asset in moving your career forward?
My biggest asset in moving my career forward. Um, are we talking like music wise? Are we talking like technical, or are we just over?
Well, as far as your aspirations, and I don't. One thing I won't do is just single you out as an artist. So, as your aspirations as a person, as your end goals to everything you've been working for, what have been a few things that you've noticed that, had I known this before, I would be much further than I am now?
Well, a lot of the technical aspects. around music if I would have known certain like vocal recording techniques, stuff like that, you know, being able to like concrete a flow out, you know, all that kind of stuff. It would have definitely made my music a lot better from the get-go. But I'm not necessarily mad at the fact that I had to take time to learn, because a lot of people, you know, a lot of artists will DM me and stuff like that, especially people who are just coming up, and they'll ask what I've done to this point that has made my music like, you know, somewhat good. I'm not gonna like put myself on a pedestal, but been able to get a couple streams. So, and the one thing I told them that has helped me the most was like exactly how like Kanye did it with production. Dude, I used to be making 5 songs a day, five songs a day, freestyle, written, whatever it was, whatever you had to do, just knocking them out. And granted, like I had a lot more time back then, but I definitely recommend to artists to, one, you know, to be able to record a lot of songs and not necessarily put every single one of them out or get them all mixed and stuff like that. But just record as much as possible, because that was how I was able to start to learn when I was singing in key, when I wasn't singing in key. I was able to get my singing better and stuff like that. And it obviously helped me a lot with my writing process. And so that was one of the biggest aspects for me. That, in my sheer determination, like I think that's something everybody who's met me can say that that I give off, is determination, and the fact that I believe in myself more than anyone could ever believe in me, you know. So everybody I've talked to who says like the one thing that I give off first time meeting is like how determined, especially when it comes to music, because from the get-go I believed in myself more than, you know, anybody else could. And through that, I was able to prove to other people that, one, I had the drive to actually go out and do it. And two, when you actually like believe in yourself and you pitch a song to someone or something like that, or you pitch your music to someone and you don't 100% love it and are 100% believe in it, then they're not going to believe in it either. But I was able to turn some heads in the beginning because I actually genuinely believed in it. So that's what I'd say got me to this point for sure.
Hell yeah. And people underestimate the effect believing in yourself has on you. People can tell when you really care about what you're doing, and to care about what you're doing, you have to believe that you can do it. So when it comes down to showing your motivation, the biggest thing you can do to show people you're serious is to just care. Just give a little bit of time, a little bit of effort into the thing you want to do. Because if you don't, what do you have to complain about?
Mm-hmm.
No.
100%.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're good. Continue.
Okay. So the next thing I wanted to talk about for you guys was this picture, and we started with this picture for those of you who are watching in the beginning. Before we move into this, Janalia says, Jortzy the GOAT, sick emoji, praying, or, you know, hands together emoji, fucking fire emoji.
Appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Hell yeah, Janalia's serious supporter, man. I'd always love to see it. And in the first little bit where I was, you know, I know you probably noticed I was looking around. I was sharing the post, so I was listening, but you know, I was making sure we got a couple of people in here. So yeah, so tell me about Times Square, man. How was that?
Man, New York was one of the coolest places I've ever been. And I've been to a couple places in my life, not necessarily everywhere I wanted to travel, but you know, I've been to some pretty cool places in my life, and New York was just something else, man. Like at some point I definitely want to like live there or spend some time there, because that just changed my whole perspective on like what life could be, you know. I went out there a couple weeks ago, And nah, it was just so sick. I was out there with a couple of friends, and I just got to experience the city for the first time because so I'm from California, but I'm not necessarily from the LA area. I'm from SoCal, so that's like in between. For people who don't know, it's in between LA and like San Diego, because those are like two pretty good reference points for people who don't know too much about California.
Yeah, the
So
widely known areas.
yeah, exactly. So I'm from SoCal, so I've grown up in the suburbs. So the city was just something else. Like, it was just insane. The food there is crazy, and just all the history. It just wowed me for sure. But yeah, I've been talking to a couple people because I'm trying to get back out there. But this time I'm trying to get back out there to perform. So I'm talking to a couple people right now. We'll see. Maybe if anybody's watching from New York, you might see me pop out in the near future. So
Hell yeah. So y'all heard that? Anybody from New York? Check out, be on the lookout for Jortzy. He's gonna be in your city soon. Show him some love, man. Show him some love.
sure.
So before we move on to the next question, first thing I want to say is we encourage I shouldn't say fan, but watcher interaction. You know, if you want to know anything about the artist, feel free. Feel free to ask a question. Feel free to want to know. That's okay here. So we encourage that. Okay, so the question I had is, would you consider yourself more of a outlier, like a country, not necessarily redneck and honky tonk, obviously, but nothing wrong with that, by the way, disclaimer, so I don't get canceled. But would you consider yourself a city boy or a country boy?
I mean, I guess country, because I've always grown up in the suburbs. But if we're talking about what I like more, I actually like the city a bit more. Like, I wish at this point that I could live in a city, just because I'm a super social person, super outgoing. And I'd love to be able to be in a place where I can constantly make interactions with people and network, because that's, I think, one of my strong suits. So I would say I'd prefer to live in a city, but since I've grown up in the suburbs my whole life, I'm technically a country boy.
Hey, well, I was, you like the city, so you consider yourself more of a city boy.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yeah, no problem with that, man. I live out in the country. I consider myself a country boy, though I do like the fast life of the city. I also like my privacy and my seclusion. So I consider myself a country boy in some aspects and a city boy in some aspects. So I definitely get it.
For sure.
So for those of you who didn't know, you just heard another YouTube exclusive right here on the interview channel. The song we played in the beginning is not yet released. And if you had the opportunity to hear it when we played it, you have heard a work of art. Now, I was listening to this shit, and the whole time, I didn't play it until the interview. So I was sitting there, because I wanted to give you that genuine reaction. I was like, oh, shit. Like, your lyrics are on point. Your timing's on point. Your mixing is good. So tell us about this song that you have coming up, man. It is a flame, man.
Thank you. I personally, I agree with you. Like, I think this is the best song I've created to this point. And that's like crazy for me to say because I make so many songs. But yeah, so Sin City is my next single, and it's going to be a part of a bigger EP that I have coming a little bit later on. So Sin City is like an anti-pop / hyperpop single. And it basically just touches on a period in my life where I was kind of more introspective, and kind of just going through it a little bit, definitely feeling out my emotions and just like sitting with them. And so it was a period in my life where I was more so introspective, and I was looking at my vices and all this kind of stuff. And then that's how the song was created, is basically through that period of time. And that's what the EP is overall going to be about, was that period in time, just because I was able to more experience these emotions that I really want to talk about in my music. And it was just a point in time where I was just like really, really feeling them. And so I'm definitely going to be putting more of that side of me out there in the near future. But Sin City is definitely a good taste of that.
And you should, man. The album turned out, I should say the track. I haven't heard the entire EP, but the track turned out awesome. I'm gonna play a clip of that real quick. We played it in the beginning, but I'm gonna play another clip of it real quick. I'm not gonna give you as much as I did, but just so you guys can hear, for those of you who weren't here in the beginning, this is Sin City by Jortzy. And I'm gonna pull his SoundCloud on, so you guys go follow his SoundCloud, man.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
Now it takes time to walk it off. If I skip town, would they even care at all? I got plenty steam that I'm blowing off. Mix the Louis V with the Saint Laurent, just to show them all I don't care at all.
Follow his shit.
I'm in Sin City.
Hell yeah, man. Hell yeah.
And they sit pretty. All the secrets that I keep, yeah, they sit with me. Hear the whispers in my sleep, what they want from me. Oh, I put a lock on my soul, they can get it all. I gotta watch my back, they just want it all. Take a trip inside my mind, see what we find inside the unknown. I lost my patience, now it's long gone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If you want to hear the full song, you gotta go follow him, man. No, there's nothing else you can do. You just gotta go follow him and wait for the shit to come out. So make sure y'all go leave a follow. Don't subscribe to this fucking video, bro. Go follow Jortzy. Janalia says Sin City could be as big as you push it and promo it. Start a Sin City TikTok trend. How do you feel about that? And if you had to do like an off the top idea, what would you do for it?
I don't know, man. That's a good question, because that's like something I'm faced on the daily, is how to market TikTok's the right way to have it reach the audiences you're looking for. I don't know. I mean, I have been promoting it a little bit on TikTok, but I got to go harder. I've just been posting lyric videos to it, but I do plan on pretty soon doing if it gains any traction, doing like an open verse challenge or something like that. So people from the internet on TikTok can write their own verse, and you never know, man. Like if there's something that's crazy fire and it just works, then maybe I'll feature it on the song.
Hell yeah. And that's a slick ass move too. Have everybody write a song, and whoever got the hottest verse, shit, you're gonna hop on the song, because that's just gonna make it twice as hot. That's a marketing strategy right there, baby. Take notes. Hell yeah. Sin City is definitely a banger. Do you have any other projects? I know you mentioned the EP. So
yeah.
What other projects do you have coming up?
So I'm going to be putting out that EP soon. I actually don't have a title for it. I don't have a title for it yet, so I can't give you guys a name. But
1 second.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry, my internet lagged. Holy shit. Okay, so they missed about 3 seconds. So right before you started talking about your EP, before we do that, it says do an open verse. Janalia says do an open verse challenge, skits, even vocals that you put out and have people make beats for. So basically, you know what you just said.
For sure.
So I'm sorry, but start back right when you were discussing the EP, because you cut out for about 3-ish seconds.
Okay. So yeah, so I'm gonna be putting out an EP that'll feature some of my singles that are already out. MIA, Antisocial, and then Sin City will be on there once it's released. And then I'm gonna put roughly like 6 to 8 songs on that project, and then following that one, I'm gonna do a love EP, and then that will have around the same amount of songs, and then I'm just gonna do singles from there for a bit, because I feel like singles are way easier to promote and market.
Hell
Rather,
yeah. Oh, go ahead. Sorry, I was just like, hell yeah, but go ahead.
no, you're good. So yeah, so that's my plan. And then on the Love EP, I'm not sure if I'm gonna have any features on this EP that I'm working on right now with Sin City on it, but definitely on Love EP, you guys can see some features um, from some of the artists that I work with around here. That'd be fire.
Hell yeah, and I can't wait to see who you work with, man. Like I said, okay. So I'm gonna say this, and for anybody who has worked with me personally, this is a big compliment. Like, I fuck with this, and there, a lot of artists have a lot of hot songs, but this is fire. Um, it's when I judge a song, I don't just judge based on how it sounds. I judge based on, do your vocal patterns, your quarter notes, eighth notes, half notes, do they all match how the beat goes? Does your BPM go along with what they're doing? Does your lyrics actually say something and not just whine in my ear about sex and drugs? And this fucking song delivers. I can't wait to hear the whole EP.
Yeah, yeah, man. I'm super stoked because I feel like real, like, mental health, like talking about how you're really feeling is so undertouched on in the industry. Like, nobody's really speaking on that. Um, and so I just want to be the first to be, you know, super super transparent. It's becoming, actually, I can't say that. I want to say it's becoming more of a trend now. We've had some artists that have made it more acceptable to talk about how you're really feeling, all that kind of stuff. And so it's becoming more popular now, but it definitely isn't like 100% mainstream. So I want to be the first person to be totally transparent with that side of things on the mental health side, talking about those issues. And then, yeah, I just want to present it in a way that people can digest it and actually, hopefully heal from it. That's the ultimate thing, is to have people connect with it and be able to really just feel it.
Hell yeah. Okay, before I ask this next question, first off, guys, if you hear me heavy breathing, it's because I'm a piece of shit and I smoked for 10 years. So, uh, if you hear me heavy breathing, that's what that is. Okay, second thing. As far as the mental health issue goes, if you don't mind, I don't want you to feel pressured, but if you don't mind, share with us a little bit about kind of what you got going on.
Yeah, so, you know, for me, most of my life, it's been really bad anxiety. And so I've been, my whole life, I've been super, super anxious. And, it's led me to do things that I'm not super proud of, stuff like that. But I definitely want to be able to touch on that and be able to describe what it's like to me. And hopefully people who are feeling the same way can relate with it. You know what I mean? That's the ultimate goal, because for me, that's been a huge part of my life and something that I've dealt with, really, really bad anxiety. And so I want people to feel heard. You know what I mean? People who aren't talking about it, who have it, really bad, that just can kind of have someone on their side, if that makes sense.
Yes, yeah, for sure. Everybody needs that support system, man. I know there were plenty of times in my life where I wish I would have had somebody like that. You feel me? So I definitely respect that. Now, okay, so we are pretty deep. We're we're about 25ish minutes in. So we'll start the wrap up. But before I do, guys, make sure you go check out Jortzy. Tell them your platforms, man, because I haven't gave you a time to plug, man. We've been, I've been enjoying this conversation, so I haven't really gave you a time to kind of plug your stuff, man. So go ahead, tell all your social links, everything you want them to kind of view, anything you want them to support. Now's the time.
For sure. So Jortzy on Instagram, 2 Ys. Jortzy on all platforms, Jortzy. And Jortzy on Twitter. It's the big three.
Yes, sir. And make sure you go check it out. Do you happen to have a link tree?
I do. It's gonna be in my Instagram bio.
Awesome. So you guys make sure you go Jortzy with 2 Ys on Instagram and go to his bio. Check out his link tree, man. That'll send you everywhere you need to go. Now I always close with 3 questions. So question number 1, and we spoke a little bit about this before the interview. Who are 3 of your biggest inspirations in the game that not only inspired you to do music, but do music in the way that you're doing it now?
3 of my inspirations would be, for an overall tone of like the messaging in my music, would be definitely Juice World, Childish Gambino, and Arctic Monkeys.
Yes, sir. Arctic Monkeys, Sweater Weather.
Yeah. I just love all of their subject matter. Obviously I love the music. But I really grew up listening to those 3 in particular, like the most. I also listen to like The Weeknd and stuff like that. Trippie Redd, a lot of similar artists, but I don't know. For me, their subject matter was super dope. And I love how they've been able to creatively play with certain ideas that people don't usually talk about.
Hell yeah. And you guys know I'm a fan of every genre, but go listen to Sweater Weather, man. It'll change you.
Yeah.
All
For
right.
real.
So question number 2, if you had the opportunity to work with any artist in the game, famous or not, underground or not, even if they have 0 followers, who would you work with? And I don't ask people to do one because that's hard. So give me your top 5.
Okay. Dead or alive? Or alive?
Either, anyway, go ahead.
I'd love to work with, like, if I had the possibility to, like Juice World, X, people that definitely inspired me, like pretty early on. Eric DOA, Glaive, and then just Kanye, man. Kanye's the GOAT.
Hey, he's a little bit crazy, but when Drive Slow drop, that shit drop.
Yes, sir.
And finally, now I do, I say finally, but I have one more question after this, and it's not really a question, it's more of a suggestion. But if you had any advice to give to someone that is not only looking to create music, but to create music in the way that you create, in the field that you create it, in the genre, what advice would you give them to help further their career?
Like I talked about earlier, make a lot of music. Like, just first of all, just do it. Shout out Nike.
Hell yeah. Gotta get that copyright, not trying to get sued.
Yeah, exactly. But just, put yourself out there. Be willing to be okay with the fact that people might judge you. Um, People are going to talk about it. They might think you're weird for doing it. Totally discard all that. If you're serious about it, then just put yourself out there, start making music and make a lot of it. And then as you start to see a progression and you're happy with what you can put out, then put it out. And just do your research. Like all these athletes that are out here in the pro level, they had to be a gym rat to be able to get to that point. So be a music gym rat, like study everything, study the greats, listen to a lot of music, different genres that you've never even heard of that might inspire you for your next song. Listen to everything, learn, be open to criticism, and ego is something that is important. It's important for you to be confident in yourself. But when it comes to being able to collaborate with people your size and being open to taking criticism from people your size, your level, be open to everything. That's the biggest thing, and just stay optimistic, because that's truly how I've gotten to this point, is all of those factors combined. A year ago, 2 years ago, I was making music in this closet right here. I was making music by myself. I had nobody but my best friend basically supporting me and being my quote unquote manager. And in that 1 year, I was able to progress to a point where I was able to meet my current manager right now. Shout out Colton, shout out the Midnight Colt, shout out all those artists that work with him. But yeah, and so it was a year later that I was able to kind of progress my music to a point where he was kind of eyeing me a little bit. He's from my community, sorry. And we started working together, and now things have only just progressed from there. And now I feel like one step closer to the dream of being able to profit off my music. So yeah, just put yourself out there. That's the biggest thing.
Hell yeah. And you heard it here first at the AMF. Oh, well, A Man Forgotten. I can't say AMF because apparently that's copyrighted, but A Man Forgotten podcast interview with Jortzy. Now, before we close it out, is there anyone that you think would enjoy coming on to the show that hasn't been here already, or is there anybody that you feel would benefit from being a part of this?
Yeah, I mean, any of the artists from my community, Bray, Angel, Lunar 9 for 9, Dante Oasis, any one of those, man, any of them. Definitely, I would love to hear some of their stories and be able to hear what they have to say.
Hell yeah. And as you guys know, if you're mentioned in my videos, you will be receiving a message. I always get the information from the artist after the video to make sure that everybody has a fair opportunity. We don't turn anyone away. If you draw, if you paint, if you make pottery, if you work with wood, if you make music, come to the AMF podcast. We're trying to get you guys out there. We love you so much. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bray Janalia says Bray and Lunar interview would be fire.
Sir.
But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you show your love to Jortzy on all platforms. I'll after the video tomorrow morning, it's late, so I know you guys are tired. But tomorrow morning, I'll post links into the description of this video to Jortzy's, everything. So be looking for that. And make sure you guys show love. We're here to support the community. Thank you so much, Jortzy, for coming on. It's been an awesome time. I hope you had a good time.
Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I love being able to talk with fellow creatives and being able to just kind of talk about my story and how I've gotten to this point, because not a lot of people know much about me. So this is really super dope opportunity. Thank you.
Yes, sir. And don't forget, guys, we will be rescheduling, If Jortzy is available, we'll be rescheduling for an hour interview later on. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for that. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.